trying to read what that said. I'm gonna wait for a few people to get on here. We are gonna do the giveaway for the Icarus, and we're also going to talk about what I refer to as my cold dead hands collection. These are frames that I will never get rid of. Literally, you have to pry them from my cold dead hands if you want them, kind of deal. Let's see, we got one person on. We'll wait for a few more people to get on here. Hope y'all having a good day. It's hot outside. I ain't going out there. I'm gonna do it right here. Well, we'll go ahead and get started on the collection. My collection that I refuse to get rid of, like I said, I call my cold dead hands, is not necessarily the nicest frames in the world. It's more about the people involved in them. Let's start off with this one, the little Wayfaring Stanley by Patrick Richardson. Patrick's one of those guys that is just there for the community, always has a positive spin on anything. Was a teacher, so he is very professor-esque, if you will, about his teachings and his knowledge, but is a great guy. This little shooter, I mean, look how tiny this thing is. It's just like micro. It's small, but it fits in your pocket perfectly, and it's just, and he included the magnets on it. And one of the things I do when I get things is I'll look at it and say, well, how could I do my stuff like that? It's like, the magnets were perfect, so I started putting magnets on mine. But yeah, this one by Patrick is just absolutely, I love this thing. It's one of those ones that I don't shoot all that often. I carry it around with me just as a reminder of the community of Patrick and his teachings, things like that. But yeah, you can't have that one. Let's see, that to the side so I don't grab it again. This one, I don't shoot this one. I don't like the design of the Snapjaw, but this one was given to me by Jason Horridge of Rabbit Holes Everywhere. Jason and I did a little bit of trading, and one of the things on this one, what's up, Donald? He does this symbol, Jay's son. I thought that was cool. I mean, and me and him started talking about ways to kind of brand my symbol and everything like that. And I came up with the Pobody's catapult symbol eventually, but it was he and I talking back and forth and getting some ideas through. Just, he was my sounding board more than anything. But yeah, Jason made this one. We did some horse trading, and this is one of the ones I won't get rid of because the memories behind it more than anything. Let's see, this one, simple little natty, but it's got some handmade bougie micarta on it. And this one was given to me by Matthew Cornelison at SEST. Matthew's one of those guys that he's never met an enemy. Everybody's his friend, and the very first time I ever met this man, he just welcomed me with a big smile and open arms. And we got to talking at the SEST tournament, and the last day there, as I was packing up, he hands me this frame and says, "How's that feel in your hand?" I was like, "Yeah, it feels pretty good." He goes, "Good, because it doesn't fit in mine anymore," and told me to keep it. It's just, again, a memory. It's not one I shoot all that often. It's a very comfortable frame, but it's one of those ones you won't get from it because of the memories. Like I said, a lot of this is more about the community than it is about the frame itself. Let's see. Yeah. The 90 millimeter Falcon by Tim Hemery. I modified it. I put holes in it for binding posts or tabs or whatever, but again, we did some trading, and the Falcon originally was an 85 millimeter, and I can't shoot an 85 millimeter, and I wanted to be able to shoot this frame. So I asked him, I said, "Would you make it a 95? He said, "Well, 95 kind of comes out a little wonky on the proportions of it. What about a 90? So yeah, I'll do a 90. And Tim's a great guy. He's a hell of a shot. Um, Probably hear dogs out in the background. Sorry, guys, but it's just that communication, that accommodation that we do for each other. Like I said, I don't like an 85 millimeter frame, but I wanted a frame by Tim, and I was like, yeah, if you'll make it a 90, we're good to go. And I shoot this one. I do. I don't have it banded up right now, but and again, going back to Patrick Richardson, I put magnets on the bottom of that one. Let's see. The Moan Waller. Now I've got a couple of Moan Wallers, but this one, the 90 millimeter version LPPS with slots, is the very first slots I had, very first LPPS I had, and it's the only one I've ever won from him. I've got another one from him that I've purchased, but it's just dead on. And Moan has become a real good friend of mine and a mentor, and it's just, I love this frame, and it's one of those ones I shoot all the time, and it's just so comfortable, so accurate. And again, the community involved in it, Moan, he just does awesome work. You can't have it. It's just, I love this frame. Talking about Moan, a while back, a little over a year ago, I got into kind of building a few frames, and the very first one I ever made was laminate, and I called it Oni. And I made it based off of the LPPS. I made it offset because I like my offset frame. So that kind of brings me to this one. This is the only one in my dead hands collection that I actually made. And you can see the bands are all busted on it. I shoot this one. This one is a homage to that one, the one called Oni. I ended up giving Oni to Moan and made this one later on, making myself a nice frame. It's just one of those ones I've always wanted to make for myself, and I think it turned out really nice. And it's one of those ones because of the memories involved in it and the time, and it's just the community teaching me how to get to this point from that point. It's just, it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, this one's mine. I mean, I will make these if anybody wants one, but this one's mine. You can't have it. Dan Hood, the man, talking about teaching you how to do things. This man has held my hand through setups and designs and alternate. Just, if you need to know how to build a frame, if you need to know how to set up a shop, if you need to know how to polish, if you need to know how to do anything as far as that goes, get with Dan Hood. Big DH2000. He's got a YouTube channel. Watch his videos; they're awesome. But I've got two of his frames in my cold dead hands. One of them is this one that I got from him at SEST when I first met him. It was just a beautiful frame, and you can see busted bands too. I use this one. He couldn't remember the name of it at the time, but he told me that it's kind of odd because nobody wanted this frame, so I started referring to it as the Unwanted. It's an Osage orange with black phenolic and red oak. But he remembered later that it was actually designed around the BSX that Nathan Masters had made for BSX axes. And this one is just super comfortable. It is so ergonomic, and it has actually become the basis of a few of the ones that I've designed and built for myself and things like that. It's just the ergonomics of this handle and the way it feels and everything like that. When I build one, I kind of refer to this one as, if it doesn't fit as good as this one, then it's not going to be as nice or as indexing, or I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I want it to set in my hand just like this, so that when I build a frame, this is my reference point. Like I said, it's just one of those ones that when I got it, I'm like, yeah, it's a pretty frame, and I want to get one from Dan because watched his videos and everything like that. And he even asked me, or if I was going to shoot it for the tournament. I was like, no, I'm going to shoot my Torque. And that was in my Cold Dead Hands collection too. I just didn't bring it down off the wall. It's a black Torque that I shot at SEST. But yeah, this one has become one of my favorites. It is definitely in my top 5 rotation. And I've got another one by him talking about teaching you how to do things. I came across one of his videos about the out the top wave attachment system, and I started making a few natties and things like that. And he had this one in his bin to be worked on for a while, and then I started making the natties with the out the top, and I kind of agitated him into finishing this one. When he finished it, I had to have it. I was like, dude, that is freaking awesome. It is a stealth shot with an out the top wave attachment system, half inch or yeah, half inch phenolic with glow in the dark resin, and it's just super comfortable. I've always liked the stealth shot. I've had one other one. It was a little too thin for my hand, so I ended up trading it off. But that out the top wave attachment system is just perfect on this, and it's one of those ones that it just feels too good to get rid of. You can't have it. Plus, like I said, it's just one of those things. I mean, it was kind of cool that one of my mentors has been following me, kind of watching me along, and goes, okay, Robert's kind of got into this, and it's got me back in the spirit of doing things. I love that I can give back like that. So yeah, this one stays with me. Kenneth Dykes. Whew. This man. If you have never met this man, never talked to this man, he's a true gentleman and a master craftsman. I met him at SEST too, and it was just, I instantly knew he was going to be the guy to make the very first custom frame to my specs. And I contacted him afterwards, and I told him, hey man, I love your red thorns, but I can't shoot an 85. I prefer to have one in a 95. He's like, yeah, we can do that. And we went back and forth a couple of times on the design and dimensions and everything like that. He ended up having problems outsourcing some of the stuff needed to be done, like anodizing or powder coating and things like that. Long story short, Kenneth ended up just making it to where he could do everything in-house because this frame was irritating him so much. He redid this frame 9 times to get it right. And if you don't think that's dedication to a customer's wishes, I mean, that is just, and I've told him several times, man, you don't have to do that. I mean, it's fine the way it is. But he's like, nope, that's not what you wanted. That's not what you wanted. You wanted this, this, and this, and that's the way we're going to do it. So, like I said, if you want a true gentleman craftsman that is going to make sure that you get exactly what you want, get with Kenneth. And this is the frame that we came up with. It is a 95 millimeter Red Thorn Hunter, as he calls it now. OD green, anodized 6061 aluminum with OD green and black micarta scales, brass liners, matching lanyard bead, and it is just absolutely beautiful. Let's see if I can turn this thing around and give you all an idea of just how gorgeous this thing is. But the anodizing process on this, it was just, me and him talked about it, it was just such a nightmare trying to figure this thing out. It came out, the green came out so dark at one point it was black. He had to strip it back down. Like I said, he redid this frame 9 different times to get it right for me. So like I said, Kenneth, love you, brother. I mean, absolutely far beyond anything I could have asked for, and absolutely love this frame so much so that I ordered an EDC version from that should be here Tuesday in double black micarta and red and black scales. So that was gonna be cool. This one is beautiful, and I shoot it. As you can see, my bands are a little dirty, but when that one gets here, this one's probably gonna go in the case, and I know he loves having people shoot him, and I will shoot this, but I got an EDC version of it. Why would I bring out the pretty? But he also, talk about accommodating, he came up with a design called the Talon, and 70 millimeters, and I don't really shoot a 70 millimeter frame, but it was such a cool design, I had to have one. And I have since ended up trading that off. But again, I like a 95 millimeter frame. And I asked him, I said, "Man, will you consider doing the Talon in a 95? He's like, not, didn't really think about going any bigger than the 70, but he got to redesigning it and sending pictures back and forth to me. And he ended up with a 90 millimeter. And the way he holds the Talon, it's uncomfortable. You can go back and kind of watch my first 10 with the Talon. But he ended up making a 90 millimeter frame. And this one and one other one in existence. Me and Moanwall are the only two that have 90 millimeter frames, or 90 millimeter Talons. Moans has got the lanyard loop, or lanyard tab at the bottom of it. But again, it's just accommodation. But this, it's a beautiful frame, and I hold it inverted, and kind of sits in my hand perfect. It's just, this is one of the ones, when I tell people I carry a frame every day, this is the frame I carry every single day. You can see it's, I don't see how wore out it is. It's just all kind of boogered and scratched from being in my pocket and everything like that, but it is freaking bulletproof. 3/8 double black micarta, or yeah. But this one stays with me all the time, and this one is my true EDC. It's just, but again, memories and accommodation and the community of what we do for each other. It's a beautiful thing. Gene Kirkland, this man's a trip. He and I became friends, and we would get to where we would sit up late at night and just kind of BS about different things and everything. And we're sitting there one day or one night, and this little girl, we were talking about different designs or whatever, and he had one that kind of resembled a goldfish cracker. I was like, "Dude, you should make one that looks like a goldfish cracker." He's like, "Oh, hell yeah." His little girl brings him a goldfish cracker and says, "Look, she brought me a template for it." Like 3-4 days later, I get this. It is a PFS that is made to look like the goldfish cracker. And I just thought, that's cool. That is very cool. I mean, from just a BS conversation to cut you out one that looks like a goldfish. He did the wave attachment on it, but the rounded tips don't really work very well for the wave attachment, so I end up putting tabs on it. And I do shoot it every now and then. It's not the most comfortable thing, but it's just a whimsical thing more than anything. But yeah, love this. He also sent out a couple of frames, and Gene's that guy that he wants everybody to shoot. He no matter what, he wants to make sure that you've got a frame in your hand. Make sure you've got something to shoot. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be anything. So my boy Jorge Hernandez, got a few frames of his, and this one's more about Jorge than it is about Gene. He sent him this one, and Jorge ended up decorating it because it was just a plain birch plywood cutout, and Jorge ended up decorating it in kind of this camouflage design and ended up sending it to me. But Jorge is one of those guys. He's been my right hand. I host a online slingshot league called the Sandlot, and Jorge behind the scenes is just absolutely my right hand on this, guys. If you're a member of the Sandlot, you know Jorge, but the work he does behind the scenes on this thing, guys, oh my God, it's phenomenal. I definitely could not host or run this league without Jorge. If you're a member of the Sandlot, please go thank Jorge. It's just one of those, it's a beautiful thing. and I friended Jorge because he was a new shooter and was struggling with a few things. I was like, I could help him out, and we became friends after that. I mean, like a lot of us do, slingshots bring us together, but it's not the glue. It's the community. It's the friendships that we build through it. That's the glue of it. We just all happen to like slingshots. Is what it is. Jordan Smothers, this man, he and I have become friends. He has taught me a lot. He is the one making the HDPE Icarus. We've got a couple of more designs that I've come up with that are in the pipelines of maybe coming out. We're doing the R&D on a few of them. But my birthday was a little bit after SEST, and I'd bought a few frames from him then, but I love natties. He loves natties, and he has this design called the Bear Hunter, and he only does it in natties. Well, my birthday, he sends me a video of this. He goes, "What do you think of that?" Now, I did this. He goes, "What do you think of that?" I'm like, "Dude, that is the nicest, sickest bark on natty I've ever seen. I've got to have it." So I bought myself a birthday present with this, and it is probably the frame I'm most consistent with. It just it's just something about it. I don't know if it's the love behind it or what, but this thing, I don't even have to think about this. I could almost pull this back blindfolded and go, it's done. It's on. I don't even have to think about this frame. But I've got a couple of Bear Hunters by him. He doesn't produce them all that often because it's just one of those things he has to find the right fork to do it. But one of the ones he did, Ray Bazonsky brought a bunch of natties, unfinished natties to SEST, and he found this red bud one, and he made this. Let me get that light in there. That is just absolutely gorgeous. Probably the most beautiful grain that I've ever seen in a frame. And I don't shoot this one all that often. It's one of those, as Patrick would call it, soft shirt frames. But yeah, it's one of those ones you can't have. It's just, like I said, this is my shooter Bear Hunter. This is my pretty Bear Hunter. Yeah. Last but not least, Jordan's producing the Icarus frame, like I mentioned, and he sent me a box full of them, of which you're going to be able to choose, or somebody's going to be able to choose whatever color they want. But in that box was that yellow black, and it just struck me. And because it is one of the very first production HDPE Icarus, it is the reason why it's in the Cold Dead Hands collection. But yeah, it just something about the yellow black popped to me, and obviously I love the Icarus design. I designed it, so but yeah, it's just again, the sentiment, the community, the what we do for each other. This frame, if nothing else, embodies all that, from learning how to design, learning how to build, learning how to shoot, learning what works for me, what may work for others, to a collaboration with Jordan to get my design out to the masses. It's just, like I said, it's surreal is what it is. And it's been less than a year. I mean, it's just all gone by so quick. But yeah, it's just one of the very first Icarus, I'm going to call it that. The first production HDP Icarus is my Cold Dead Hands collection. So let's get to the drawing real quick. The best way I can figure out how to do this, guys, open up my book real quick. There were 31 people that commented that they would like to have the Icarus. I swear I have it. There it is. So what I did is, from the very first comment, all the way through. I assigned everybody numbers. Okay? So, I got my wife's phone here since I don't have a desktop.
I want it back.
She wants it back. And I've already got the random wheel generator set up for, can y'all even see that? 1 to 31. And I'm going to get some of that light off that. Spin. Number 6. So let's see, number 6 is Stephen Foster. Congratulations, Stephen. I will make a comment on the original posting for the Icarus, and you have your choice of black, orange, yellow, or green. Congratulations, Stephen. Guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me, looking through my collection and kind of going down memory lane with me a little bit. But truly, this community is awesome, guys. If you haven't got that involved in it, step in. It's a community that gives back. It's a community that thrives on feedback. It's a community that thrives on friendship. Like I said before, Slingshots brought us together, but it's not the glue that binds us. It really is the friendships that we develop over the time. Everything from, hey, how did you do that? And no qualms about it. They'll tell you, we want to further this sport. We want to further this addiction that we've all got, I guess is the easiest way to say it. There's talks about it becoming an Olympic sport here in the near future. It'd be awesome if the United States could get into that. We've got to get organized, guys. We really do. But yeah, reach out to people. They will definitely help you out. They will mentor you. Once you get to that point, reach down, mentor somebody else, help them back up, or help them up the ladder. It just keeps giving back like that, and it's the only way it can work. And I really do. I truly love y'all guys. Appreciate it. Again, congratulations, Stephen. Thanks for hanging out with me, and we'll holler at y'all later, guys.